Jazz is playing. It's the Roottrees are dead. I'm Stuart, welcome back. This could be an interesting one. I'm feeling fine. I thought I'd be feeling more tired. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch the Chinese Grand Prix, and I'm staying up to watch the Oscars tonight, which starts at 11 p.m. here. Had a little nap in the afternoon. Love a little nap. But yeah, hopefully I've got enough brain power left to make a bit of progress in the ways that we didn't last time. Although last time we did get a lock-in, didn't we? A little surprise lock-in towards the end after a lot of blustering. So yeah, let's see what we can do. A little admin up first. I do love you leaving comments. It's been nice to see some of you engaging and enjoying it. And everyone's been really nice. I like that. Some of them are getting a bit backseaty and helpy, which I don't want. I want to be able to like figure this out by myself. And I've seen most of the comments I've seen are like I've got a gist that you're trying to help me out or point me towards things, so I just don't read them. So there's lots of things I haven't read, but I'm seeing that you're sort of pointing things out and helping, and I prefer if you didn't do that. Or if you want to do that, make it spoilery by dropping a few lines first so it appears under the read more thing in the comments. That's helpful to me, and it means I can read the things that I'm able to read. Yeah, I know you all mean it in good spirit, but I don't want the help right now. Maybe I'll ask for the help if I get completely bogged, or ask for a tiny little hint. I don't know how that would work, but I probably won't. So enjoy. Enjoy watching along and, not helping me. Right, where were we? I'm in this kind of awkward position where normally I've like written little notes to myself between episodes. Or, at the end of the last episode, I would normally write myself, here's what I want to do next. Here's something I'm thinking about. Don't forget to do this. I've written nothing because I think basically we got a lock-in last episode and then that was it for us. And I have no, obviously, where to go next. But I think that's because I suspect for the most part we've uncovered everything there is to uncover. This is my guess. I think everything is out pretty much. There's probably a few web searches and things that are like left lingering, but I think for the most part everything is kind of available. Is how I'm feeling. And I just haven't connected dots yet because, like, this bunch, I feel like Edward's spouse probably should be gettable. I feel like Remember's job probably should be gettable. I think it's probably in some of the stuff we found, or at least there's clues in the things we found that are there for the taking. Amazing we don't know Elias C's spouse name either. Again, over here, like I don't think there's anything obvious we're going to find. I think we've got all the clues and information that's kind of opened up this branch of the family. These two, I'm almost tempted to go for. And if I'm right, I think we're in a... Yeah, we got full facts, half facts. These two, if you remember, are just this picture. And I am, as time has gone on, I am more strongly suspecting that what this image is pointing me towards is he's the oldest. I can't remember what their names are, but we do know what there's two. What are they? Wilsons. There's two Wilsons left. In fact, I can just type them in. Yeah, Zach and Jem, right? Boy and girl. And all we need to do is kind of figure out who's the older one. And I think this picture is implying that he's older. I know we said that heights can be deceiving, and they both look mid to late teenager. I think John in the comments just gave me a little bit of... See, this is not something I don't consider backseating. There are bits in this where I'm like, I don't fully understand the American culture that maybe gives you a little more insight into some of the clues. And I always said, I don't really understand graduation. They seem to be graduating all the time. I don't necessarily understand yearbooks either. I don't know when you get a yearbook. Is it right at the end of the school, high school? And it seems, if I remember what John said in the comments, that yearbooks are a high school thing, but everyone, all 4 years, are in the yearbook, but it becomes more prominent for seniors. And you graduate from middle school and high school and college or university, and that high school graduation looks like this and college graduation looks like this. So here's what I'm thinking that this image implies. I think he's older and graduating high school. It looks a bit high schooly behind, I think. She's younger and still in school. And so this was 2 years ago. If he's graduating high school, maybe he's in college. Again, I was hesitant because graduating high school doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go to college. You might not. That might not be what you do with your life. But I'm kind of tempted to make him the older child and put him as a college student and make her the younger child, or the middle child, I guess, and put her as a high school student, or a K to 12, K through 12 student. I feel that's what's being implied. There's a chance I'm leaping a bit too early on that, and there'll be some information somewhere that says, bloody Zach is studying fine art at some art college that I definitely know the name of. But I think I might go for it. Is that cheap? Is that... That's not fudging it, is it? Because the information has not been very forthcoming about them, and they're not very important in terms of fame, business, that, like, you know, other people are. She's an artist. He was a company director. You know, there's going to be articles about them. There's going to be sort of information flowing. There's going to be chatter among the family. These are just kids in a branch of the family that's quite distantly connected to the ongoings of the Roottrees family, of not really connected with fame and fortune. He's probably the most famous person, right? Because he's Doctor to the Stars, or whatever the hell he was. Pediatrician to the stars. Sort of self-proclaimed fame. So what I'm saying is, I don't know if there's going to be any more information coming about them that we haven't got already. They're not in the family portraits. They're not, I don't think, going to be in any articles. I think they're just some guys. They're just some kids. So I apologize if I am jumping the gun on these, but on these two. But I've started to suspect that portrait is meant to be giving us all of this information. So let's find out. Oh, I'm so hesitant. Maybe I'll leave it for now. Oh. I don't want to cheese it, is my thing. And there's just a chance that there'll be something I'll find that confirms their order. And I'll feel like I did cheese it slightly. but let's find out. Look, we've got 3 people I'm feeling confidently locked in about. So let's see if we can get another one and edge our way towards these guys. This is a bit like in the New York Times crossword where I've got a letter I'm unsure about and I just leave it blank for most of the crossword so I can remember to come back to it and think about it a little bit more. Maybe the information that comes out about, I don't know, Gwyneth's kid. Sorry, thinking about Gwyneth's kid has just woken up the little hamster in my brain and he started walking on the wheel and I'm like, there was something. Maybe I resolved it. There was something at one point, one of the kids in one of their essays had written about like their second cousins. And it was it Chris? You know, the one with all the collages, like the photos that have been like cut up and warped and distorted as an art piece. And I think he said something about all his cousins and the ones like, so he couldn't use. I don't think he could use Carly and Riley and Raina or something, or he couldn't use anyone under 18 or something. What did he say? And I don't know if we identified all the cousins he spoke to. Why am I saying what did he say? I could look it up. Here? Yeah, we've got all these people, haven't we? These are all on the board. So, are they all on the board? There's a swimmy guy. Yeah, swimmy guy. Bethany. So where's the evidence table? Bethany, Davy, and Stephanie is this one. Is she on the board? I don't think she is on the board. So is this Stephanie? Right, hang on. Before I lock that down, what did he say about her? Where is this information? So Chris Rafferty is in the 3rd branch. He's on the Rafferty line. So let's see what I wrote, or let's see what I saved. I feel more engaged than I was last time. I feel like I'm thinking more clearly than I was. Right, I'll be somewhere near the bottom, won't I? My 3rd cousins. No. Okay, so where did this come from? Gifts under construction. We had to create a piece of art about our family. Extended family of cousins. Only a few of them got back to me. My teacher said I wasn't allowed to use pictures of Raina, Riley or Rose. I think that's what he just said. So I had to get creative, use my 3rd cousins. This includes Davy, Bethany, and Stephanie. And oh, here we go. Right, so this is Stephanie. So she has to be here, right? Which is what I was thinking. I was like, I swear there was like a missing cousin. So Chris Rafferty's here. 3rd cousins are everyone in the same line as Chris, but who don't come out of the Clancy Edward branch. So all of these people are 3rd cousins. All of these people are 3rd cousins. And so this is Stephanie, right? Why couldn't we place her immediately? Was that because... Ugh, get out of here. Was that because we didn't have... Who do we not have? Because we were able to place these two. These 2 slots we knew were reserved for the people I put in them. One way around or the other. Oh, maybe we didn't have these kids. Maybe these kids were still possibilities. That was probably it. These kids we locked in recently. Okay. And then in all of doing that, I kind of forgot about Stephanie. But I'm back. See, just a little time away, refreshment, a nap. I think this is Stephanie, and I think, based on the timing, 1997. Yeah, she's still a student, so I think we don't have to think any more about that than that. I've lost my Stephanie Cottrell. Ooh. So if she's Stephanie Cottrell, then this person's going to be a Cottrell too. Sam. There was another Sam, wasn't there? I mean, there was this Sam. I remember us thinking about another Sam. There were two Sams. I think for a while we thought this Sam, the male Sam, was the Sam that was being talked about in hushed tones in Lauren's first history book thing, Lauren's first memoir diary thing. When I thought Sam was male. Anyway, Cottrell, student, right? This should be a lock-in. So I feel confident about Stephanie now, I think. I'm just gonna look. Before I press it, I just want to be thinking about who we're thinking of locking in, because if it doesn't work, and why did we think it was this way round? I think he had a film school jacket on. Yes, so he's the film school guy, and kind of Robbie was in his coattails. Now screenwriter, I think, is the loosest profession of the four people we're about to try and lock in. And the only hint towards this is that he punched up a couple of scripts on one of the series that Ron worked on. So that might be our dodgy link if this doesn't work. Okay. Okay, we're not crazy. Five left. Oh god, this week could be the week that we finish this game, and then I have to think about what the next game is. And we got Sam as well. Oh, that seemed a bit obvious once we got Stephanie. Okay, here's where I'm going to allow you to leave a comment. I mean, I'm always going to allow you to leave a comment, but I'm going to allow you to tell me some information in a restrained way. Like, think about not backseating or spoiling me for stuff. When I bought the game, there was something about Roottrees Mania. I'm aware of a thing called Roottrees Mania, which I feel must be DLC or kind of expanded something, random. Is that what that is? Is that DLC? Is it a bit more game? And if it's a bit more game, is it worth me just continuing into that straight after this? Do I want to know, does it unlock when we finish the game? Does the game just continue into Roottrees Mania? Is it an entirely different thing? And I guess just an opinion. If you know what Roottrees Mania is it worth me doing? If it's, and that would be useful for me to know, because I need to kind of plan for what's coming up next. In fact, 1 second, let me just open something up for you. We're going off piste, by the way, temporarily. Okay, sorry, I had to pause recording while I opened up my Google Drive, and I've got several Google Drive accounts for different things, and I didn't want to put all of that on screen. Plus, it would have been boring just me going through it. Anyway, so I have this list of games I'm kind of just vaguely got my eye on as things I might like to play. And I think after this, I'm going to do a short one before going into another one that's sort of this length or longer. So I'm thinking the 2 games time, I'm going to do Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. If that sounds good, let me know if you think that's a good idea. And in between, there's a couple of cartoony kind of detective-y games that I'm interested in. I think, I've played this one now. I need to tick that off. Duck Detective seems quite funny. We could do a little bit of Duck Detective as a palate cleanser in between. And Locomotive also seems quite fun. It's a sort of pixel art. I think it's a detective game on a train, I think is what that is. if you know anything about those games, if you have any opinions about those games, or if you just want to play. I think I might do Locomotive next. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, and if you're like, oh, I want to follow along, but I want to know what's going on, and you want to play the games first, then maybe go for Locomotive next. But I'm interested in your opinion on that. I'm going to close this now and go back to the game. That was it. My 90-second aside on that. And we're back in the game. Right. So here's the state of play. We've got 4 more things to do. 4 more people to lock in before I think What's-Her-Face comes back and we have the opportunity to open this envelope where I'm assuming number 50 is. So, and I think we're close. And I think maybe this is the episode we do it. In which case, the questions I just asked you about what we do next become incredibly pressing, right? This envelope thing I'm actually not sure about. Like, if it is EC, I don't know who EC is. Are they on the list? Are they on the list of people? Eloise question mark. Who's Eloise question mark? Did we have Eloise question mark? I sort of vaguely remember an Eloise. Okay, don't get distracted. Hang on. Focus. What were you thinking about? You were thinking about EC. EC. Okay, so we think it's a man because they said he. So there's no one who's called EC. I think Elias C is someone we've placed. I don't know Roottrees. People who begin with E. The Ernests we've got already. The Edward and the Eliases I think we've placed. Okay, that's fine. I think that makes sense because I believe we actually have to type the name in. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try and keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. 2 names that must be typed in manually. Yeah. Okay. It's interesting it's 2 names because I think finishing this tree will give us the 49 names, but there's a thing that comes up I think when we do lock things in that says out of 50, but 49 plus 2 is 51, obviously, maths degree. So what do these numbers mean? What are we talking about here? Oh, okay. So it's a 50th like big person and a 51st spouse person is what I think is going to be, right? Because these little names and don't count towards the total. Okay, that's what it's going to be, isn't it? Ooh. Okay, so 4 big people to lock in, of which we have. I think this is correct. Occupation, and then we're done. But then we've also got 1, 2, 3, 4 spouses. So what can we do next? I think this person should be gettable. I think there must be a way into that person. So let's review what we know about the Miracle Network. We could look up the miracles individually, couldn't we? Miracle Junior. I think Miracle Junior just leads us straight to here, right? Okay. Oh no, it doesn't. But I think Miracle Junior was actually on the starred list. Yeah, that's why he's appeared. So what was this again? His wife Edith's sister. So that's how we got Edith. And we don't care about her sister. Where was I? Here I was. The author also mentions that Edith had a bit of a checkered past herself, but doesn't clarify. So what does that mean? Does that mean we can... Does that mean we can search Edith? Edith who? Jacobson. Do you think she'll be in the Butler County Times? Due to some misdemeanors. How are we spelling this? S-O-N, is it? Yeah. Ah, here we go. Right, good. There's a crime blotter article, whatever that means, about Edith Jacobson that mentions a Helen Roottrees and a Lucinda Jacobson. So Lucinda Jacobson must be her sister, but we don't care about that. 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda, were arrested for trespassing at Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County. Interesting. Did she meet Miracle Jr. by breaking in? They were pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get into a room where the church houses their weekly tithings. The church didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle... Aha! Here we go. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. Helen Roottrees was quoted by saying, "Jesus forgives and so do we." Okay, well there we go. That was easy. First thing I thought of. Helen Lennon, right? Yes, of course. Because she's not a Roottree at birth. Thank God that's the only Helen left. Okay. I feel happy with that. Is there anything else we can gather from here? I don't think so, because I think the Roottree line is all its own thing now. Okay. Alright, so what else are we doing? Can we get... How do we not know Edward Roottree's occupation? How? Okay. I'm going to be saying okay a lot. How do we know what we know about Edward Roottree? How do we know this is Edward Roottree? Let's figure that out. So this is... We're starting from the tip of the third five-piece line. Who was Clancy Edward. No. Okay, nothing in here. Oh, yes. Who the hell is this? We need to get on top of this. I think that envelope's going to be a whole episode. I think I'm going to be banging my head against the wall, searching through stuff, trying to figure that out. Okay, that's fine. It's all fine. Okay, so let's go to the Edward line. See if there's anything in that. There's not a lot here, is there? Edward didn't help Lauren raise Clark. Suggest Edward is Lauren's brother. That's fine. That's how we got that information. Pop seems to have gotten over it. Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. Edward married a non-white woman called November. Okay. Not a lot, is there? Okay, hang on. Whoa. Stop, Stuart. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his apartment once he retires. This is Pop. If Edward's taking over his apartment, then Edward is the same occupation, right? Edward's the lawyer. Edward is married a non-white woman. It's interesting that there's no... I didn't put the highlighted text above this. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this down so I can write a little note under it that says Edward is a lawyer like his Dad. Clancy Edward. I'm putting it in. Lawyer. Okay. Good. Right. See, just requires a little bit of thought. Now, who the hell is he married to? Who have we got left? Oh my god, this is all we got left. And all the people with little faces by them, I think, are people we've put in but haven't locked. Unknown male, unknown female. Oh, that's just when you want to take a name out. Clara Lansing, Joan Monroe, April Quaritch. It's one of those three. Okay, pause for a minute. In fact, I'm going to write this down because I can't keep things in my mind. So our three missing people are Clara Lansing, Joan Monroe. Actually, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity for this bloody screenwritery thing that I have that I don't really use that often because I don't need to. But I can actually write on the screen and it'll stay on the screen. I'm going to try and not write it underneath my own face, though. Okay. In blue, why not? Okay. That's horrible. Don't like that. Black it is. Okay. Can't type. Clara Lansing. Joan Monroe. I need to remember to just scrub this off afterwards. And April Quaritch. And the reason I want to keep these names... You know what? I can type this better. You need to read it too. I'm not giving you a prescription. Right, and now those will stay where they are. I'll stick you under my head so I'm out of the way. And I can see if these seem to be more fitting for other parts of the board. Having said that, now that I've done that, I've realised they're all women, so obviously their names won't actually flow through to anyone. So, who are we missing? Okay. This was a foolish idea. Like, the second I needed it, I realised, obviously, we're not going to see Lansing, Monroes, or Quaritches on the board, are we? Nonetheless, I'm going to keep it written on my notebook, just in case I spot the names in a in an article or whatever. Move you out of the way now. Okay, so I've still got a bit of foolishness left in me. Then, but that was fun though. Writing on the screen is fun. So, would James Roottrees talk about his mother? I don't know. Would November talk about her mother? Okay, would Edward Roottrees be, or Clancy Edward Roottrees be in Business Watch because of their businessing? I don't think so. Again, searching for people's names is a fool's errand. No. November Roottrees. Cousin of James, Carl and Clark. But is she... Yeah, she's quite a bit younger than the others. So she wouldn't have been like hanging out with them. And I don't think she would have been around, you know, when Clark was being raised by, semi-raised by Elias C. Oh, we should have another picture of him. Interestingly. Oh, it'll be the flower face, won't it? There you go. What other pictures? Oh, yeah, these redheads, right? No? No. Who are these redheads? I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to get everything stuck in. I haven't locked the redheads in, but the redheads are these bunch. Sorry, these bunch. Yes, that's it. Classic redheads. There we go. You're in there. Right, who else is left? What other little pictures have we got? I know I was looking at spouses. Give me a sec. I might have some. Okay. There's an Elias Roottrees picture. He's not any of those guys. So all of these people are locked in. Well, not locked in. They're all placed somewhere. Interesting. Are there any pictures I haven't sucked the faces out of yet? It's the only Elias I think we know of. Yeah, I think everybody else. Interesting. Where is that final Elias Senior picture going to be found? He's certainly not. God, he's not. Whoa. Who's this guy? He's so tiny. Does he look like Elias? He doesn't look crazy old. But he could be. So the second thought that came to my head is maybe he's this EC character or the John character that we're missing in here. Possibly. But we know EC was a farmhand. Not a whatever the hell this warehouse guy. So is that Elias? Are there other bloody people in the back of the other photos? Wow, what am I missing? No one else in the back of these ones. Who is that guy? Who is this fella? Who are you? He doesn't look fancy. How fancy does he look in the original photo? Is he a fancy guy? Yeah, he's pretty fancy. Look at that tie. That's a fancy man. Look at there. Look. My goodness me. Look how many layers he's got on. I think he is a fancy guy. So the reason I asked that is I thought maybe if he started as a down-to-earth guy who made his fortune in Maypole but stayed tied to his old roots, maybe he wouldn't dress up fancy like these guys in this photo. But so I'm leaning towards, yeah, look, he's got short sleeves and everything, although he's not dressed the same as these guys with their hats and such. Because of this bloody thing in the way. Oh, whoops. I can't see him properly. And I don't think I can get rid of these little Polaroid things once I've got them. So I mean, maybe you're related to EC. Maybe you're related to Who's in the Envelope. We don't know who. Do we know who John is? John, if you remember, was the person with, yeah, farmhands EC and John. And John could be John Miller. Now, where did Miller come in? This is all some fucking nonsense, isn't it? Excuse my language. This, I think, is probably related to that and the Samantha stuff. Maybe not. What is this? I think we know that RR is the production company that Ron Roottrees owns. Possibly Robbie Roottrees as well. Robbie Roottrees did the crime, right? I'm getting distracted. But you know the mystery that, and there's also this mystery of Lauren said when she was a kid, another little girl came up to her and said, "Your dad is my dad." So I don't know where that fits in with the family tree, including this envelope, because this envelope is not connected to whatever went on with Lauren and this mystery sister she may or may not have, or at least it doesn't seem to be by the way it's connected. I'm still pretty sure that the people in this envelope are the people that raised Samantha, who she considers to be her parents, and she's spoken about that. And I think okay, let's not focus on the envelope for now. What were we trying to figure out? Okay, let's ignore that man who was in the back of the photograph, but we've got to remember that he exists. And I think he's going to be, yeah. Oh, that's a better picture of him now. Oh. I mean, they're drawings. So you can only draw so much from them. They don't seem alike, though, at first blush. I know this guy's got a big beard on and stuff like that, but I sure. What we were looking for was a picture of Elias, but I don't think we're going to get that, are we? No. Okay. Back to spouses and occupations. Okay, so we got a full. This is a full person. These people are basically there. I think these are who they say they are. I may as well put them in now because it's not gonna cause a. It's not gonna cause a lock. And I was just concerned that I would put one of them in and it would cause, 4 people to be locked in and I get everything confirmed, and I'm not ready for that yet. So this is it. This is the last bit of information for the locking out. So let's see if we can grab these 1, 2 spouses. 3. Okay. How are we going to do this? How are we going to get Zach? Zach. Okay, let's start with what we know about Zach and how we know it. Zach is in the first line. Let's start one line up. Twin sister. Guy. We don't want guy. Guy. This is all guy. This is all guy stuff. So let's go into Zach. Zach's not a bad president after all. These are all Caroline Morden stuff. Where do we get Zach information from? I can't remember how he locked him into being the second child. So let's do some double checking on things. Business Watch. Zachariah Morden is his name? Yeah. Okay, nothing in there. Okay, one sec. Whoop. Is he in the Butler County Times? No. Where is his? Are any of these people going to talk about their families, their parents? Carolyn was very vocal. Did she say anything about her family? Let's have a little look. Let's read her thing. Her sister she spoke about, her cousin, Dr. Wilson. I mean, it gave us loads of information. Marriage to Mark, yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of information out of Carolyn, so I don't begrudge her not talking about her mother. Influences. So her mother isn't an influence. Their marriages led her to double down on her passion. So their marriages, she's talking about her sister and her cousin. Dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Stephanie. Eloise. Okay, yep, makes sense. Okay, and this is Eloise question mark, right? That came up in the big list. We just don't know what her name is. She's off the grid. Okay. What do we know about Gwendolyn? Absolutely nothing. I think we only know about Gwendolyn because Carolyn Morden just called her giving up on her dreams and married a doctor. I think that's it. And if we look up Dr. Wilson, Dad is the best dad in the world. He treats patient well. He'll treat you. And yeah, that's some bullshit. Pediatrician to the stars. What? Okay. Yeah, we've seen this. Yeah, okay. Pittsburgh. I can break out my Pittsburgh accent that I learned. Great. Okay. It's proving quite hard to get these spouses. Claire Lansing, Joan Monroe, April Quaritch. Can't look them up. What do we think? November Roottrees. Okay, here's the thing, right? We can search for spouses all day long, but if we don't find out what her occupation is, then we're never ever gonna finish this game, right? So let's think about that. She just hasn't come up anywhere. I feel like the only time we've seen her is in this photo. And I don't think it was... she's a Roottrees, right? Yeah. And I don't think she's going to come up in the... Again, because searching for people isn't a thing. what is... No, this is all stuff that's in the Gwyn line. This is in the... No. Chris Rafferty, maybe? No, he doesn't speak about that. November is a... What is she to him? She's a first cousin once removed. Or a second cousin once removed. I think. Anyway, these don't come up here. Okay, what else we got? Christmas Mission? What was that? That was a film? Yeah, that was a Gwyn Roottrees film. Don't want that. What else are we going to have? What's Watchman of the Year? What I'm kind of hoping is there's something local that will lead me to some of these spouses. Atlantis' Burden, that's the name of the sculpture. Oh, hello. November Studios. Is that... Where did we get this from? Did we get that from the... There was something about the theatre? I saw the theatre. What was that related to? Did that come out of the motors? Well, I can see we can almost trace our line of thought through this. So I think in searching for Stephanie and Brian Jones, we found Jones Fabric and Print, and then that led us to some of this stuff. So how did the theatre come out of this? Butler Summer Theatre performs and plays musicals. How is that? How did that come out of Jones? Oh, he printed. It's one of the... He had a bunch of print jobs, didn't he? And I think one of the print jobs was Roottrees Motors. One of the print jobs was like a local... The Summer Theatre. I mean, I don't have to speculate. I can look it up. Here we go. Right. So, no. Below the cast that lists the crew, two things that stand out: posters and additional set designs by Jones Graphic and Print, and choreography by November Studios. So it can't be a coincidence in a game. So does that mean she's runs November Studios? Is that her thing? Okay, I guess it's not up here to the top. Is she a dance teacher or a choreographer? I mean, what jobs are available? Dancer, not choreographer. Do I go for it? If I go for it, it means I'm locking in the two kids, of which I've made a bit of a leap. I'm feeling less and less guilty about that leap as time goes on. If everything else is right, if Edward's a lawyer because he's taking over the family business, I think that makes sense. And then these two... We're not getting anything more on them, are we? I mean, we're not. We're just not. They're just not connected to anything that's going to open them out. I just feel increasingly like that photo is meant to give us enough to go on. It's meant to be suggestive. I don't like it, but I'm feeling that that's the case. I feel like it's not... There's a spectrum of evidences in this game, and some of them are like basically watertight. They basically tell you who people are. Someone will say, Gwyneth is my sister, or speak about their sister, or you know, whatever. Clark started working in advertising. Like, it'll literally say it. And some will be more woolly, like Carolyn said, Gwyneth and Bonnie both gave up on their dreams for men. And that was the clue that meant they were housewives. No one ever said they were housewives, but it was suggested through the text. It's a little bit more between the lines reading. It's not a huge leap, but it's a little bit more. And then there are kind of clues that have a bit more stretchy, and you probably wouldn't pass muster in a court of law. I think there's be enough reasonable doubt, but in terms of a game and it being asked you to make a bit of a leap, some of them are a bit more stretchy, and I'm thinking this is a kind of a stretchy one. It's like, here's a picture, which one of them looks older? He's got a graduation cap on, so maybe he's in college, even though we're not going to tell you he's in college. Is my guess. He's the son of a pediatrician. To the stars, no less. And I feel like a pediatrician to the stars might encourage him to go to college. If I want to read between the lines a bit further. I feel it's more likely in what's probably an upper middle class family where one of them is a pediatrician that he's going to pay for them to go to college. Is my reading. So he's graduated high school, he's gone to college, and she's younger for reasons. We can't say that she looks younger. But I feel like it's implied somehow. They're kind of standing like a podium, first, second, third. I don't know. I don't know. I feel that's the implication. I just can't imagine an evidential route that's going to open up some article or something that's going to get us any information on them. So that's my long-winded way of saying I'm like somewhat happy about those two. So do we go for this? Do we want to get these spouses first? I mean, we're not going to finish the game. It's not going to be like, haha, this is it, you're locked in, you can't change anything. Well, it might do, I don't know. But I'm assuming because we still have to do this shit, there's still going to be scope for us to fiddle. And we still haven't got this picture. So here's where we are. So we're basically at the end of the episode today. We're getting towards the end of the hour. I'm going to put it in. If it does lock in, it's going to open up the next final bit of the game. And we can tackle that next episode. If it doesn't lock it in, we know we've still got a bit of work to do, and maybe I'll spend a bit more time next episode figuring out the information we don't know, as well as trying to get some spouses. But I think it's worth seeing where we are by putting in Dancer here, seeing if it works, and either way, we know what's happening next episode. Should we do it? Let's do it. You can't answer that because you're not seeing it till tomorrow. But I'm imagining you're saying, yes, Stuart, go for it. Two achievements. That's good. We got all these. Nice. Okay, let's see what happens next. Let's see if the shadowy woman appears. Oh, shit.
To my genealogy genie. If you're reading this, it means you've locked in 49 blood relatives. Congratulations. I knew you could do it. There are 2 more entries on the family tree I'd like you to consider. These last 2 are optional. You can summon me whenever you wish. However, this will end your search and reveal the truth. So make sure you're ready.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to try. It'd be an awful shame to not do that. Well, for God's sake. Well, we knew it was... Okay. We don't know who he is. I think this is John Miller. Okay, and we can still shove some of these people in. I think it's that guy. Is my hunch. But we're going to have to do some digging, aren't we? Because we don't know who EC is. I think we're going to have to do a lot of reading through the stuff we already have. I know I said at the beginning of this episode that we've kind of basically unlocked everything and we just had to search through it. And that was, in terms of what we did this episode, pretty much true, I think. I don't think... no, we opened one article about Miracle's... Well, it was about Miracle Junior's wife, but it kind of gave us Miracle Senior's wife. But anyway, I said I thought everything was basically out on the table. It's... what's made me change my mind about that is that there we don't have this picture. Which means we're missing... Assuming that this bearded guy is not Elias. And I could have put it in here before I locked in to test it, but I guess I didn't. I think this is EC. I think it's EC because it was hidden and obscure and all that shit. Anyway, my point is we haven't got a face to put here. So there must be something we can put on this table, assuming it's not here already. Nope. So there's something to find. You know what's interesting? Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. My face isn't covering it up. All the stuff has gone apart from this. Isn't that interesting? So maybe whatever we haven't teased out of this bit of information, which we got immediately, I think. If not immediately, we got it after we put in we did the tutorial. Like, I think we got the Roottrees sisters as like our mini tutorial phase of this game, and then it gave us here are some names to look up. So we've had this basically the entire game, and we still haven't got everything out of it. So maybe I'll make a little note. Notable Roottrees. So we can explore this. I think this might give us, at minimum, the picture of Elias Roottrees somehow. And I'll search for every single one of these to make sure we've got all the information on it. I still don't know how intuition works. Once we've done this game, I will look at that comment that someone made a few episodes ago that gave a very long-winded explanation of how intuition worked that I didn't read. I say long-winded. It might be very succinct for the complicated way. It just was a very long comment. Long-winded makes it sound like they were going on and on and on, but that's not what I meant. Okay, I feel like next episode could be hell. It could be hellish. It could be very quick. I could have a really good brainwave, and it could be over within half an hour, or it could go on for a bit, and you're going to look at me, watching me struggle. But either way, I hope you join me there. So today is Sunday for me. This episode is coming out tomorrow, Monday. I remember asking you a couple of questions. I think about whether I go into what happened. You know, we're fast approaching the end of this game. I think I'm going to attempt to resolve the envelope thing in the next episode, which will be Wednesday. So you've got Monday. When am I going to record? So I'll not record the next episode until Tuesday, which will give you a little bit of time to tell me about where you think we should go after this. If Roottree Mania is an actual thing, like an actual more of this game that I can get stuck into, or whatever. Whatever I asked you in the middle of this episode. I think I spent 5 minutes finishing, like, yabbering on. when I should have wrapped up the episode. Anyway, yes, tell me what you think in the comments about going forward from this, without spoiling me and without hinting me and without telling me what kind of things I should be looking at to get into the envelope. None of that's it. Just the things I asked, and we'll be great. So be good in the comments. Be good. Behave. And I'll see you then. You're going to have the opportunity to talk between this episode and the next episode to me. So use it wisely. I'll see you later.